Moses gets a knock at his office. Excuse me, Moses, can I talk to you? Yes, what is it? We're here to represent the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh. And we wanted to know if we can stay here. I'm in Numbers 32. I wouldn't have believed it if the Bible didn't say it. Because I didn't believe that after all they went through, they would want to stay here. They had been trying to get to the promised land for 40 years, and now they were requesting to stop and settle just beyond the shore. Numbers 32 verse 5 says, if we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants as a possession. Do not take us over the Jordan. Now you know that Moses must have lost his mind. Moses had it up to here. This is the same stuff your fathers tried to pull and almost got us killed. For 40 years we have been wandering in the wilderness, and we had to wait till all of them who thought like that died off. As a matter of fact, hush your mouth, don't say another word. I don't want you to discourage the other people. We have to go. We all got to go. Let us all cross over to the other side. Moses, listen to us. We're not trying to get you killed. We're just saying that we have a lot of livestock. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of servants, and this place is perfect. We don't want this and the promised land. Let this be our promised land. Can you believe it? They were settling for second best. They were settling for what they could see, trading in their blessing for temporal satisfaction. They were settling for second best. You see it now, you want it now. Instant gratification with no regards to what is to come. They looked around and decided that this land is good enough. Good enough? Those should be curse words to every Christian in here. Good enough? Not when God has called you to greatness. Good enough? Oh no. Good and not bad is the greatest enemy to greatness. And that's why many of us fall short of the glory of God. And so many of us never realize half the promises that God has for us. Why? Because this right here is good enough. That's why we don't have great schools. Because our schools are good enough. That's why we don't have great marriages. I got a good marriage. That's why we don't have great churches. Because our church is good. There's a whole lot of people missing out on the great life because we've all settled for the good life. But do you know and understand that the biggest dreams you have for yourself are nothing in comparison to the dreams that God has for you? God has something bigger. He has something greater. He has something higher. The pit of inspiration says higher than the highest human thought are God's ideals for his children. The Bible puts it like this: eye has not seen and ear has not heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man the things God has prepared for those who love him. Good enough is never enough. Not when it comes to a great God with great plans and great promises, great things he has for our lives. So Moses told him, the only way you all can do this is you have to fight with the rest of the Israelites and help them gain possession of Canaan. And then when all the other tribes are settled in, then you can go back across the Jordan and get this land. And they agreed. They agreed to go across Canaan. And when it was over, after seeing their blessing, after working for their blessing, after fighting for their blessing, they would then pass it up and go home. They would go back to where they had come from. Understand, On the way home, they had to pass grapes the size of watermelons. On the way home, they would have to ignore the sweetness of honey gushing from the rocks. They would no longer be able to sit under the lazy palm trees. And this idea was preposterous to me. I thought what the 2.5 tribes were doing was crazy until I realized we do it all the time. We see something we like and we hold on to it, something temporal, something vile, something faded, and we trade it in for our blessing. Sure, we go to church. We help out with the young people. We preach sermons. We coordinate events. We work. We fight, trying to help people get into the promised land. And then we turn and go right back to the filth we left. The filth we helped them get out of. Hello, somebody. Settling with the honey of the promised land still on our shoes as if trying to keep us on this side. But Paul tells us, let us not look at what is seen, because what is seen is temporary. But on what is not seen, because that is eternal. That's what's going to be around after taxes. That's what's going to be around after inflation. That's going to be around after the morning and he didn't even say goodbye. That's what's going to be around after your family and friends forsake you. That's what's going to be around after the downsizing. That's what's going to be around after the betrayals. That's what's going to be around after they turn their backs on you. That's what's going to be around after they close the casket. That's what's going to be around when the doctors throw up their hands. That's what's going to be around. The things you can't see, those are the things that are eternal. So let us cross over. God wants you over there. You're on the verge of a blessing, the biggest blessing of your life. He is ready, willing, and able to bless you with peace. Ready, willing, and able to bless you with joy, bless you with forgiveness. But you've got to cross over. Don't get caught settling for what is temporary. Don't get caught moving by how you feel, but be moved by God's principles. Let us cross over to the other side. Finally, it was time for Israel to cross over.